Thank you for joining me for today's RAD Studio webinar focused on Windows 10 and new key UX principles. My name is Sarina DuPont, and I'm the Director of Product Management here at Embarcadero. Now let's have a look at the webinar agenda for today. First, we're going to cover the Windows 10 landscape, followed by key RAD Studio Windows 10 features, an overview on the Windows 10 VCL controls. We're also going to have a look at our built-in and custom themes, specifically around Windows 10, followed by some in-product demos. Now, Windows 10 is the most important platform for our current customers, and as you can see by looking at these statistics, Windows 10 actually passed Windows 7 in 2017 in terms of popularity. Now, Microsoft has announced that Windows 10's end of life is going to be in January 2020, so there's really never been a better and also more important time for you to move your applications forward to Windows 10. And Windows 10 is now more popular than all the other versions of Windows. Now, RAD Studio provides extensive Windows 10 support, and this includes the ability to easily update existing VCL and FireMonkey applications to Windows 10 with a range of built-in Windows 10 themes. You can also select and download more through GetIt, Windows 10 VCL controls, and WinRT UWP services components, such as the ability to provide local push notification support in your applications, for example. RAD Studio also makes it easy for you to address common UI paradigms on Windows 10, and you can choose from a range of UI controls that were specifically designed for Windows 10, and I'm going to go into some details on those in just a couple of minutes. As I mentioned, there are a number of built-in Windows 10 styles that we designed specifically for VCL and also FireMonkey applications on Windows. You also can access in the Bitmap Style Designer a range of different templates that you can actually use to create your own VCL and FireMonkey Windows styles if you wanted to do so. And we actually provide many different themes in the GetIt Package Manager for Windows specifically for FireMonkey and also VCL. Some of them are Windows 10 themed and some of them are just general custom Windows themes. Now, RAD Studio 10.3x further expands our Windows 10 support. So again, as I mentioned, Windows 10 is a key focus in RAD Studio. We provide VCL extensions for high DPI and 4K monitor support, including per monitor V2 support, a multi-resolution image list, which is very similar to what we provide on the FireMonkey side for enabling your application so that you can support multiple resolutions of images and icons. We also provide expanded WinRT API and Windows Store support, and this includes support, for example, for in-app purchases. Now, when it comes to Windows 10, there are really key font settings for your applications. Windows 10, the standard font on Windows 10 is Seago, and Seago UI Light is used for headers and subheaders, semi-light for the title, normal for the subtitle, and then we have semi-bold for the base, normal for the body, and then normal also for the caption at various different font sizes. And if you use that font, then you're going to get the look that customers are expecting on Windows. Let's have a look at our Windows 10 VCL controls that we provide out of the box. Now, if you're looking to add application navigation with a Windows 10 look and feel to your existing applications or new VCL applications, you can use what's called the T-Split View component. This component is very similar to what we have in FireMonkey with the multi-view component in that it's a container for other controls that can be opened and closed. So for example, you can easily have a drawer navigation using this hamburger icon and then show and hide your left navigation in your application. It can be either docked on the left or the right side, or it can be displayed on top of the client area. So it has a variety of different features and settings that you can take advantage of. There's another component that's specific for Windows 10. It's called a relative panel, and it's a layout panel that lets you position and align child objects in relation to each other or the parent panel. And it really provides a lot of flexibility for designing user interfaces, and we have a very nice demo application that actually ships with the product. You can see in a screenshot here that you can have a look at to learn more about all the capabilities of this component. Now, the toggle switch, the switch control provides two states, on and off, and you can easily hide the switch state caption or provide your own custom text if you don't want it to say, for example, have it say on and off. You could say enabled or disabled, and that's all fully customizable. Now, we also have a custom and very modern date picker and time picker, and also a calendar picker. And this includes support for multiple formatting options, a custom drop-down count, and also OK and cancel buttons. And as you can see here on screen, the components are fully VCL styles enabled. Now, In addition to the time and date picker, we also have a calendar view component that allows you to select from the month, year, and decade. So it provides month, year, and decade views. And you can also select date ranges with animated transitions when navigating between views. Now the Search T-Search is an edit control that provides search capabilities, and you can easily switch between a magnifying icon and a microphone search button icon, and that's fully customizable. Now the Activity Indicator is a control designed also for Windows 10. It allows you to easily set the color, size, and property. You can also set it to animate, and you can choose from 3 built-in styles. And now the T-Card panel is a specialized component that manages a collection of cards, and we have a great demo that ships with the product that you can have a look at that highlights the capabilities for T-Card panel. T-Stack panel is also, again, a container control, and it easily allows you to automatically align all parented controls either vertically or horizontally. And we also have a demo for this component that you can have a look at in the product. Now let's talk a bit about custom application styling, because this is really one of the cornerstones of a Windows 10 application is adhering to the UI guidelines and ensuring that your application matches the look and feel that customers expect on Windows 10. Now, we make it really easy for you to apply VCL styles, and if you haven't used VCL styles in your application, you just go to Project Options, Application Appearance, and within the Appearance view, you can select from Custom Styles. You can actually see the built-in styles and any styles that you've downloaded and installed via the GetIt Package Manager. And then you can select the style and it will automatically then be applied to your application. You can also build in a custom style selector option into your application if you want to provide your customers with an option, for example, for switching between a light and a dark style. And that's certainly a paradigm that's very popular today in many applications, and we also support in the IDE today. You can, of course, switch between a light and dark theme, and many developers that, for example, are working at night prefer to work with a dark theme at night, and this is also true for end users in general using different types of applications. It's very nice if you can give them an option in terms of what style or what color scheme they can use or would like to use with your application. Now for FireMonkey, we also provide a number of FireMonkey built-in Windows 10 styles, and for FireMonkey, they are applied via the style book, and you can actually apply them at design time and choose from many different built-in style elements using the style lookup option for each control. Now you can easily download and install custom multi-device styles from GetIt. And all you have to do is go to Tools, GetIt Package Manager, and then navigate to the Styles category, and there you will find custom VCL and FireMonkey styles. For example, if you wanted to give your multi-device application a custom look and feel, you could download the FireMonkey Material Oxford Blue style through the GetIt Package Manager, and you would actually get optimized styles for Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Android, and Linux. So if you're using, for example, FMX Linux with RAD Studio 10.3.2, you can apply the custom theme to your Linux GUI applications. We have a number of matching styles for VCL and FireMonkey. So for example, if you have an existing VCL application that you're looking to modernize, you can easily apply a custom style from GetIt and then use that same theme that's optimized for FireMonkey for your companion application. So for example, if you wanted to leverage app tethering in your application, you could easily apply one of the custom themes to your existing VCL application and then build a companion application that has the same look and feel using one of the custom FireMonkey styles that is available through the GetIt Package Manager. Now for VCL, we provide a number of built-in Windows 10 styles that you can choose from right from within the IDE. And you can also download custom VCL Windows styles from GetIt. So you just go to Tools, GetIt Package Manager, and then navigate to the Styles category. And you can see some of these really nice looking custom themes right here on screen in the screenshots, and now I'm also going to show some of them in action. Now, new on 10.3 is also a VCL high DPI image list, and this is really great if you're building user interfaces because you can easily select multiple sized icons and images to ensure that they look crisp across the different resolution monitors. And with that, let's have a look at our Windows 10 support in action. So as you can see, I've created a project group that contains some of the sample applications for the different Windows 10 VCL controls, and I'm not going to go through each of them because there's going to be a separate webinar focused on them in the coming weeks. So what I'm going to have a look at is the date and time picker demo. And as you can see, this has a drop-down menu for allowing the user to select from various styles. And this is really a nice option to add to your own VCL applications as you're modernizing your application to allow your end users to select from various different themes. And you can have a look at the code in the sample applications to see how easy it is for you to actually add a style selector to your application. Now, if you have an existing VCL application that you're looking to modernize or a new application, you can easily go to Project Options, Application Appearance, and in the Appearance window, you can choose from many different built-in styles. And any of the styles that have a check mark next to them here will also be shown below. And in this particular demo, the drop-down list will actually select from all the different styles that you have selected above that are also shown here. And then you can select a default style. If you are not adding a style selector to your application and you just want to add, for example, a Windows 10 dark theme, such as the Black Pearl, as the default theme for your application, then you just need to select one, and under default style, select Windows 10 Black Pearl. Now, we also have additional styles that are available for download in the GetIt Package Manager, and some of those styles are licensed from delphistyles.com, and you will actually see them show up right here under delphistyles.com in a separate category. And you can just click one of those styles and click Preview, and you can have a look at what that particular theme is going to look like. For example, the Windows 10 Clear Day is a very nice light Windows 10 light theme, and the Windows 10 Black Pearl is a very nice Windows 10 dark theme. And I'm going to select the Windows 10 Black Pearl style as my default style and hit Save. And I'm going to run this application. And as you can see here, this has automatically defaulted to the Windows 10 Black Pearl style, and all the different styles I had selected in the application appearance window are now available for me to select from. Some of them are just custom Windows styles, and others are Windows 10 specific themes. And again, with the Windows 7 end of life coming up in January, it's really never been a better time for you to update your applications and adopt a modern look and feel and move them forward to Windows 10. Now, I also wanted to cover the GetIt Package Manager and the various themes that you can download. So you can just select the Styles category from the GetIt Package Manager. And in the Styles category, you're going to find a number of different themes for FireMonkey multi-device applications, as well as custom Windows themes for VCL applications. And in the demos today, I'm going to focus on VCL. So for example, you can see the different themes that I've already installed. I'm going to select the Flat UI Lite theme here, and I'm going to select Install, agree to the terms, and then it's going to install the custom theme. And this is called VCL Style Flat UI Lite. Now what I can do is I can close the GetIt Package Manager, go back to Project Options, Application Appearance, and I should now see a flat UI style, and this should be here under Delphi Styles, and you can preview the style again here in the preview window, hit apply, and for example, I could switch it to that as the new default style for my application, and then hit run, and now you will see the flat UI style that I've just downloaded and installed through the GetIt Package Manager. So it's really easy for you to either leverage the built-in styles that ship with the product and are installed by default with the product, or install additional themes from the GetIt Package Manager. So we make it really easy for you to apply a custom look and feel to your application. Another demo I'm going to have a quick look at is the toggle switch demo. And this particular example, as you can see here, this is just the default look and feel in the IDE. And I'm going to run this demo, and you'll see how quickly the actual shape changes. And this is all defined through these styles. If I switch to the Iceberg Classico, you can see that the switch is very different than the Windows 10 Dark theme. And the Windows 10 Dark theme has the rounded corners on the switch, which is what you would also see, for example, if you are navigating to the settings dialog in Windows settings. And you can customize the font size on that as well. So for example, you can go and select the text label here, and you can navigate to the font settings. And then you can select the font size. So this is using Seagull UI, which I mentioned in my slide presentation earlier is the default Windows 10 font. And then you can choose from various style attributes such as bold, italic, underlined. You can also select the font, and you can change the font size. Now, if you're looking to create your own custom themes, you can do so through the Bitmap Style Designer. And the Bitmap Style Designer includes a number of templates that you can choose from. So for example, if you wanted to create your own custom Windows 10 dark theme for your VCL Windows applications, you could select that option. And then you can navigate to images to access the style.png file. And this is the actual style file, the image file, that is used to create the VCL style. For example, here we have the different shapes for a radio button. And if I navigate to objects, expand this and select radio button, you can see the different shapes here. And they're mapped through the bitmap option, as you can see right here. And then you can also zoom in and out. And I've actually done a number of videos on how you can create your own custom bitmap styles. But another thing you can do with the bitmap style designer is you can actually open and preview. I'm not going to save this in this particular case. You can actually open and preview one of the themes. So in this case, I'm going to navigate to one of the Windows 10 styles that we just downloaded. And I can hit run, and then it's going to open up the preview here. And this is our style viewer. And here you can see all the different style elements and the way that the style is going to look for the different UI controls. So this is a really great way for you to quickly get a better idea of all the UI elements and the way that they're going to look with that particular style applied. And in this case, these styles were downloaded through the GetIt package manager, so you can find them under Documents, Embarcadero Studio 20.0, Catalog Repository, VCL style. So I'm just going to navigate back up here, and I'm going to have a look at the Windows 10 Malibu style. I'm going to select run, and again you can see here a preview of what that style is going to look like through the VCL style viewer. And with that, let's open it up for some questions.
Okay, so questions, if you have questions, go ahead and put in the question panel there and we'll get them answered for you. Great session here, kicking off our Modernize series here, modernizing to Windows 10. First question here about third-party components. If, for example, someone has TMS controls, will the styles work with their controls as well?
Yeah, there are a number of different third-party vendors that support VCL styles. I don't know, Jim, if you have a list available, but there are many of our third-party vendors that where customers can leverage VCL styles for those components.
Yeah, I believe most all of them are vendors that are updated to support latest versions are supporting styles. If they isn't, so the style should work with their controls, but then just check with them if they're not working with it. You usually have a trial or something like that you can do. Oh, and there was, Sarina at the very beginning said that the Windows 10 was about to end of life in January. It's Windows 7 that's end of life in January.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was a good, somebody got that. I'm sorry about that. That was intended to mean Windows 7 is end of life, yes. I will make sure we can edit that out for the replay, Jim. It's a good point.
Yep. Will the T-toggle switch or the T-date time picker on later versions of Delphi in FMX be available? Oh, will it be available in FMX? Well, there are similar ones in FMX, aren't there?
Yeah, we actually have basically the matching components available in FireMonkey today. We have a T-date picker that also supports all the native theming across, for example, iOS and Android. And then we also have a T-switch component for FireMonkey. So they have different names, but they basically have similar functionality. One key difference there is that on the FireMonkey side, there's a lot more that you can do in terms of the FireMonkey styling and how components are represented. I saw one question from someone here in the chat around, is there a way at design time to show the VCL styles? We don't support that currently at design time. That's something we have on the FireMonkey side. On the FireMonkey side, we have the concept of a style book component, and you can actually at design time toggle between multiple style books to see the style at design time, and then use something called style lookup that lets you easily change the look and feel of a particular component. So for example, a T button can look like an icon, can look like a rectangular shape. So there are a lot more different options in terms of styling on the FireMonkey side at design time than there is on the VCL side. So I hope that answered your question.
What about making your own styles? You showed the Bitmap style designer there, but is that what they need to use if they make their own style?
Yes, I would recommend, so in terms of making your own styles, I would recommend that you use the Bitmap style designer, which is available through the tools menu. And I've actually done a number of webinars on that. And you should be able to go to Embarcadero's YouTube channel and have a look at the Bitmap style designer replays. And then those recordings, I walk you through the steps. So what we have in the Bitmap style designer, we have actual templates for Windows 10 styles. So if you were working, for example, with a graphic designer and you wanted to create your own style, there are a couple different ways of doing it. If you just wanted to change the color scheme of an existing style without changing the shapes, then you could export that style PNG and hand it off, for example, to a designer, and the designer could just change the colors, either adjusting the hue or saturation or making changes otherwise, for example, using Photoshop as a graphics tool. If you wanted to change the shape, so one of the things you probably saw in the demo earlier is that you can easily change the shape through the style. So you can have, for example, a rounded corner on the switch, or it can be, a rectangular shape. So that's something that you can fully customize. If you wanted to make those type of changes, I would recommend also working with a graphic designer. The main difference there is that upon making those changes to the style PNG, you're going to have to remap the graphical elements to the UI controls in the Bitmap style designer. So if you're just making a color change and you're not changing the actual outlines and the shapes, then you can just go through the update process in the Bitmap style designer to re-import the style image file. If you're changing the actual shapes, then you have to go through the process of remapping that. And I've actually done a number of kind of step-by-step videos that show you how to do that.
Are any of the components dependent on particular Windows 10 libraries or this?
No, the Windows 10 components that we've done that are the UI controls, such as the date picker or the toggle switch, they also work on Windows 7. In this case, because this webinar is focused on Windows 10 specifically, and the fact that Windows 7 end of life is in January 2020, I focused really around Windows 10 and the Windows 10 theming. That says they are compatible also with earlier versions of Windows, such as Windows 7. So if you have customers that are using Windows 7 and you want to continue to provide a similar UI across all the different versions, you could certainly use those components on Windows 7 as well. But given that this webinar is really focused around modernizing your applications and moving them forward to Windows 10, that's why I focused on that specifically.
Yeah, and I believe there are some, not the visual components, but there are some functionalities that are Windows 10 specific, and they degrade gracefully on earlier versions. I know we have people that were using them on XP or writing programs that targeted XP as well and saying, oh, yep, they degrade gracefully. So.
Yeah, and one of the things I saw here, I think from one of our MVPs in the comments, that he's going to be doing a session on the different Windows 10 controls and also support such as notifications. And that's actually one of the key reasons I didn't go into more depth on some of them, is because we have a lot of different excellent sessions planned throughout, I think, the month of September, specifically around Windows 10 and what we offer for Windows 10. So this one was more style focused, but there are a number of different sessions. And if you're in the process of migrating your applications or moving them forward to Windows 10, I would highly recommend having a look at our webinar schedule, because there's a lot of great new sessions planned.
Yeah, there is a handout in the handout section that is a PDF of all the upcoming sessions that you can register from, or there's a link in the chat window as well that you can click on that will take you to where you can join the other ones. Question here, are these Delphi specific, or do they also work in C++ Builder?
No, you can use them across the board for Delphi and C++, the VCL controls.
So Thomas
I think we have a number of, I'll have to look at our Embarcadero GitHub repository, but I'm pretty sure we have samples on there for them for C++ as well. I'll look while we're talking, and then I'll tell you how to get there.
I believe I've seen those on there as well.
Yeah, I see them now, actually. I just looked. So if you go to Embarcadero on GitHub and you look at, for example, the RAD Studio 10.3.2 demos, you'll find a CPP folder with a VCL subfolder. And that subfolder, for example, includes C++ demos for the search box, the relative panel, the activity indicator, etc.
Great. I'll put the link to the GitHub here in the chat window. New styles look cool, but how do I remove the old-fashioned top border of the application? So I guess the title bar of the application. So present, I have a really cool looking application, but an old-fashioned ugly border around it.
I would say send me an email, because we do have, the styling support varies between VCL and FireMonkey. I would recommend, I don't know who asked this question, but if you could send me an email to sarina.dupont@embarcadero.com, then I can have a look at that and give you some suggestions. Feel free to send me a screenshot.
Okay. Marco mentioned Windows 10 pen support in Rio. Where do I find documentation on that?
I will have to look. I don't know off the top of my head, honestly.
What happens if you're still running Windows 7? Well, on January, you're no longer getting updates from Microsoft. But you, like Sarina said, the controls should work on Windows 7. The UI controls still work on Windows 7. But some things that are Windows 10 specific should degrade gracefully. So definitely test it if you are still using Windows 7. Although, like I said, you will no longer get support, so you might want to consider upgrading.
I see a question here, Jim, from someone here that says the standard components I don't seem to have Seago listed as one of the available fonts. What do I have to change? So I don't know what OS you're running, but you might be running Windows 7. If you're running Windows 7, so Seago UI is the default font for Windows 10. And I get this question actually quite a bit on, also, for example, from FireMonkey customers that are building Android applications. How do I ensure I see the font at design time? So if you want to see the font at design time, it has to be present on your system. So for example, on the Android side for customers that are building FireMonkey Android applications, Roboto is the main font or the default font. And so you would have to install that font on your OS system so that you can actually see it in the drop-down menu. And the same is also true on the Windows side for your VCL applications.
And I believe if you are still running on Windows 7, I mean, I understand some people probably still are supporting Windows XP. I understand that, but you probably really should have a machine that is running Windows 10 so you can make sure your code works on Windows 10 as well. And you should have it on there. But it looks like you might be able to get it from if you have Office installed, a recent version of Office. So if you have to support Windows 7, Windows 7, then if you install Office, you might be able to get it from there. But it is Microsoft's font, so you would have to talk to them about the licensing requirements.
Yeah, and I see a question here, Louis, from you as a follow-up, says you're running Windows 10, you're not seeing Seago UI in your standard fonts. Yeah, I would say you have to look and see if, I would look at the font manager on Windows to see if you have Seago in there. If you don't, it's possible that there's a font pack that you can install.
Actually, I'm pretty sure I had that like right off the bat with Windows 7 or Windows 10.
Yeah, it's one of the default fonts, so I'm surprised. I'm not quite sure what happened with your particular installation.
Let's see. Question here about high DPI tools to create a style. For example, is it possible to use SVG images?
So we have the Bitmap style designer that's really focused on using bitmaps, and that was done because you get pixel perfect graphics, especially if you're using things like transparency on the FireMonkey side. You're working with gradients, and you're looking to have a pixel perfect UI, for example, on iOS and Android that adhere to the mobile UI guidelines. That's one of the key reasons we moved to bitmaps. So on the FireMonkey side, you can also use the Bitmap style designer to create a new multi-device theme. And in that case, you can load in, for example, 1x, 2x, and 3x versions of your graphics to ensure that they look very nice across the different resolution monitors. On the VCL side, we are working on adding support, and this is a roadmap item, on adding support for high DPI themes. You may have seen this in our latest roadmap update. That's something that we are targeting for a future release.
So I was just reading the Wikipedia page on the Seago font, and it says apparently it was the standard font since Vista. So, and Seago UI has been updated in Windows 8, 8.1 as well to get additional features. So anyway, I'm not sure why you don't see it. It's from Microsoft. I didn't look around to see if there's a download for it. There might be a download for it. Let's see. I have an old Delphi 7 app that I've compiled and applied themes to it in 10.2.3. There seems to be a delay when the app loads in applying the theme, as I can see the old Delphi 7 style briefly. Is there anything I can do to tweak the performance, the load time quicker?
That's a tough one. This is actually the first time I've heard that. I would say feel free to send me an email also, sarina.dupont@embarcadero.com, with some specifics. It's real, without knowing more about your application, it's really hard to tell what might be happening.
It's if you're doing it's without knowing more information. My only thought would be is if you're loading it in like the show event handler instead of loading it, so you can do it through the project options. If you do it that way, then it should load immediately. But if you have something else that's maybe in your create form or show form or something like that that's doing something that could be causing a delay, any of the components dependent on particular, we already answered that one. So yeah, I don't think any of the visual components are dependent on Windows 10, but
no, we just, as I mentioned, we support Windows 7 with them as well. And that's actually something we've documented. The key reason, this webinar is really focused on modernizing your applications, and also the fact that Microsoft has announced that Windows 7's end of life is going to come here in January 2020. So that's the key reason I didn't highlight Windows 7 support for them, but they are supported.
VCL styles with Windows 10 in mind, what happens when the user decides to toggle between light, dark, custom OS colors? So if they change, in Windows, if they change between light and dark, is there any way of knowing within the application that they've done that so that you can apply the themes application level?
We don't have an example. I'll have to look into that. We don't have an example for that. It's something that, interestingly enough, it's something we're also looking at for the iOS side for a future release, because you may have seen a lot of articles online around a dark theme for iOS. It's supposed to be in the iOS 13 release. At least that's what all the information has been online. And we've been looking at that to see what do we need to do from an iOS setting standpoint in terms of detecting whether or not a user has switched between a light theme and a dark theme. I'm sure there's a way to handle that. We don't have a specific example of that today. I'll look into that.
How do rounded corners of bitmaps, bitmap-based styles are adapted to different DPIs? So if they're in a higher DPI or low DPI, how does that adapt to that?
So in this case, it would scale it. We are working on high DPI versions of the styles. If there are specific use cases or examples that you have that you want to send me of any issues you're running into, I'd be happy to have a look. But generally, that's what happens. And we've created a lot of different styles out of the box for VCL that ship with the product that you can apply. And then there are also some really nice themes that you can download through the GetIt package manager. And then there are even more themes that you can purchase on DelphiStyles.com, which is a third-party component vendor.
Yeah, and those styles should have the high DPI already in there to deal with the different DPIs. But if you're making your own, then you definitely want to make sure you cover those. Does it work with DevExpress components? It should work with DevExpress components. Again, if it doesn't, then talk to DevExpress. How much work is involved in modernizing the UI of older applications? Would you consider it a major or minor undertaking?
So, that really, again, that's kind of a tough question. It really depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about just applying a theme and keeping the layout and everything the same, then it's a minor effort. If you're talking about updating your UI to take advantage of some of these Windows 10 specific controls that we showed, for example, like the date picker or the relative panel or the split view, then it obviously involves you redoing some parts of your user interface. If you're looking to fully adopt Windows 10 fonts and the different sizes of Seago UI fonts in your application, that would be more time consuming. So it really depends on to what extent you want to update the look and feel of your application.
Luis said he said the Seago font is in his font list. He just didn't see it before. Wants to know how to change it in all his apps, or all of the Tahoma to Seago in all of his entire app. You could search and replace the DFM file, would be one way to do it. Any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, the font is predefined in the style, so I believe on Windows for VCL it automatically will default to Seago UI. I'll double check on that, but I'm pretty sure that on Windows, for all the Windows themes, we automatically default to Seago UI through the style itself on the VCL side. But I'll double check on that. I don't know, again, I'm sorry, I don't know who asked that question, but I'll follow up on that. I'm pretty sure that, because we predefine the fonts and the styles, and I'm pretty sure that we default to that particular font in the style itself. I'll have to double check on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what we've done for all of the different fonts.
So Pascal's saying that he's having some issues with the VCL styles in Windows 10 per monitor scaling, with like checkboxes not scaling. Or are you aware of that? I don't know.
No, I'm not aware of that. I would say if you run into an issue there, I would encourage you to please file a report at quality.embarcadero.com, and then you can send me an email with a link to that, and we can have a look at the issue. But I'm not aware of something in that area.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's 10. I know that's the per monitor was updated significantly recently, so make sure that you're using the latest version, and if you are and still experiencing an issue, do report the bug. How much work? Okay, did that one already. Oh, DevExpress has different styling. So yeah, if DevExpress has different styling that they're doing, then you'd have to work with them. I mean, that's their choice. We're not going to tell them they can't do that, because if they want to have their own styling, yeah, they can certainly offer that.
I saw a question here, Jim, about what events occur on a style change and some issues about focusing a hidden control during a style change. I'm not aware of that being a problem, and we have a number of different sample applications that show you how to, switch styles. So I would say have a look at those, and then if you continue to run into issues, Eric, please don't hesitate to enter a report at quality.embarcadero.com. I think, Jim, we've gone through all the questions. I keep looking through them to see if there's anything else we haven't covered, but I'm pretty sure.
I think you covered this, but are there any places people can find definitive resources for Fluent Design UX principles? I know this is something actually that Windows 10 is inconsistent in as well, and Microsoft kind of is evolving what that looks like. I believe there is a Fluent UX style.
Yeah, we are looking on the VCL site. We are looking into what it will take to support, transparency in the future for VCL specifically around Fluent Design. That's something that we're looking into and are doing some investigations. There is some third-party support through one of our tech partners, All Media Dev by Alexi, and he has, I think, updated components and has support for transparency, and that's available through, I believe, delphistyles.com.
Okay, if someone's making their own custom control that's not inheriting from another style, how do they create a style for that control?
I'm pretty sure we have some DocWiki steps on that. I'll have to look. We worked on a lot of VCL style-specific documentation a number of years ago, and we tried to build that out and make that pretty robust. I'll have to check. I'm pretty sure we have some documentation on that.
So a couple few people are commenting about GetIt. Everything in GetIt is currently free. There are some that are trials in there, but they are marked as such. Everything else is free, fully functional, there are some light versions of things, I suppose, but they are actual products that you can use that may offer you upgrades to other functionality, but anything that's a trial is marked as a trial. Everything else is free. All right, and then someone provided a link of things that provide Seago font. Thank you for that. How does it scale under 4K display? It uses, so the Bitmap style designer has the different resolution bitmaps in it, and so it has one that works under 4K. Do we have 8K styles in there, or is it just 4K as high as they go?
We support 1x, 2x, and 3x right now, specifically for FireMonkey. And VCL high DPI or high multi-resolution styling is something that we're looking into for VCL for the future, and something we have on our roadmap.
So Steve says that Delphi Styles has a tool that will let you apply styles to DevExpress components. Can IDE be used in Mac OS or Linux? So not currently. The IDE is tied to Windows, but you can run virtual machines on Mac OS or Linux to get it there. Although I think they tried doing Wine. It didn't really work for that, but you can certainly use a virtual machine. Different screen resolutions displays. We have multiple developers, and some are set to different display sizes. What kind of issues? I'm not sure. That's a good question. You shouldn't have any issues because the app should work across the different screen densities. It's actually probably a good thing so that you make sure you're testing it on that. But if you do have issues, then that means you probably need to make sure you're supporting those correctly, or supporting the displays correctly. All right, so a couple people are commenting about specific bugs you're running into. If you are running into bugs, please make sure you report them on quality.embarcadero.com. And this is something I personally have been guilty of as well. As frequently I'll be like chatting with product manager. I'm like, oh my goodness, this bug's driving me bonkers. And they're like, really? I've never heard of that before. And I'm like, you haven't? And like, no. And I'm like, oh, and I look and nobody's reported it in quality. It's only me that's seeing it apparently. So do report it in quality.embarcadero.com. Make sure you can create a reproducible case if possible. And I know they review those frequently, and they should be able to get those addressed in the near future. Change the pattern of the style to another color, and the combo boxes are left with the original color. Is that correct? Okay, let me read this to you, Sarina. It happened in FireMonkey that I changed the pattern of a style to another color, and the combo boxes are left with the original color. Is that correct?
I guess the question would be, where did you make that color change? Do you make the color change on the component itself or in the style?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So if you applied it on the component, then yeah, it would still stay. Blurry text when creating interfaces, especially using FireMonkey, probably because DirectTD is used. Is there a way to force the text to be re-rendered exactly as GDI did? Okay, so with FireMonkey, I'm guessing with high DPI, it's using Direct2D. That shouldn't. It shouldn't have blurry text because it's scaling it.
Yeah, I would say I don't know what platform. I'm assuming this is Windows, but without having more information, I don't know. I would say if you are running into an issue there, please log a bug in our quality portal. But I'm not aware of something in that area or it being a problem.
Yeah, it's amazing how often I've been like I've never seen that before. And then I look at someone creates a bug report with details, and it's like, oh, okay, I can reproduce it if I know exactly what needs to go into it. So, yeah, report the bug, and we'll get looked at. Okay, I think that's all the questions. Apologies for the false start with some of the issues we had. If there were questions you didn't get answered, feel free to visit our community.idera.com/developer-tools, where you can post questions there for peer support. And you should be able to access the replay of this as well later. So thank you so much, Sarina, for your time and for all you do behind the scenes, making our favorite developer tools so much better.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you all for all the great questions. It was nice being here today.
All right, take care, everybody, and talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.